This is Alexander, and he's going to be doing his mock driving test today. How much experience do you have?
I have about 14 hours of formal lessons, and I've been driving around for about a year with my parents, just outside of those lessons.
And when was the last time you drove with your parents?
September of this year. Yeah.
And what's the date today?
December 18th.
So that's nearly 3 months.
Yes, yeah.
You haven't driven, and you're going to do your mock test.
Yes.
In a car you're unfamiliar with.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll tell you about the test. I mark it based on the harshest examples I've seen, because the examiners throughout the country, through England, Scotland and Wales, there's about 1,600 of them, they don't all judge things in exactly the same way. Also, on the real test, they will keep you safe if you go to do something unsafe. They won't allow you to injure someone else or yourself, or damage other people's property. So they will step in if that's going to happen. But they will allow you to damage this car. They will allow you to ride the clutch, burn it, or damage the tyres against the curb. I won't allow that during the mock test. If you hit the curb, I'll just go to push you away. If you're riding the clutch, I will say something. It's important not to damage your tyres, because if you do, and you're driving at speed, they can fail suddenly, which can lead to a fatal collision. So look after your tyres. I will go and get your examiner. It's Gary. Hello, I'm Gary.
Hello, nice.
What's your name?
Alexander.
Alexander,
yes,
right.
Yeah.
Can I call you Alex?
Yes, that's all right.
Great, that's fantastic. That's much easier. Alex, 2 syllables.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, would you like me to tell you about a test?
Yes, please.
Okay, it's going to be between 38 and 40 minutes. Approximately 20 minutes of that is going to be the independent driving. I will ask you to do one manoeuvre, and I may ask you to do the emergency stop. Please follow the road ahead, unless I say left or right throughout the test, or unless road signs or markings indicate otherwise. Unless, of course, you're following the sat-nav or the signs. Then do that. Okay. So, if you can turn the engine on, please. Move away when you're ready, please. His observations, including the roadside blind spot, were up to date enough before moving away, but the engine did struggle a bit as he lifted the clutch without pressing the gas. And pull over at the side of the road in a safe place. Thank you. I forgot to ask you the question. Can you tell me how you know if your power steering is working?
When you turn it, it shouldn't feel loose, I think. If you go to turn it, it should bounce back.
Okay. At the end of the road, please turn left. That is not the correct answer. A good sign that your power steering is working is when you turn the engine on, the steering should feel lighter. Answering this question incorrectly will be a minor mark for show me tell me questions. Good that he checked his centre and left mirror and signalled for turning left at the junction. Good observations to the right and the left at this junction. It's quite difficult to see, but he emerges safely. However, he was positioned quite far from the curb on the bend, but it didn't really affect his position as he turned into the new road, so this is unlikely to be marked on test. Good mirror checks before moving to the right to pass the parked cars, and good mirror checks before moving back to the left. Next road on the left, please. If you can drive slowly in here, because I may ask you to pull over soon. Okay, we're not going to pull over. You follow the road ahead, please. Again, good mirrors before moving round the parked cars. These parked cars have scuppered my plan. End of road left. And if you can pull over at the side of the road just before this Mini on the left. Now I'd like you to pull up alongside that van,
Okay.
reverse behind it,
Okay.
parking close to the curb
Okay.
and within 2 car lengths of the van.
Okay.
That's the parallel park manoeuvre.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Ready when you are.
Just gonna wait for that van to pass by.
All right. A safe start, but he did make the engine struggle a little bit because he lifted the clutch before pressing the gas. With the handbrake on, the engine struggled, the car's computer added gas, and then Alexander quickly added gas afterwards to help it go. It's clear he's been doing his research because he looks all round to make sure it's safe before he starts reversing. But then it starts to go downhill. After the driving test, I found out that Alex had not actually been practicing this manoeuvre much at all, and he hasn't driven in 3 months, so it's no surprise he doesn't really know what he's doing. More and more and more angle, a very common error new drivers make when they're trying to parallel park. Try to keep the angle to less than 45 degrees. If I had to judge this angle, I would say it's closer to 80 degrees. He's almost at a right angle with the curb behind him. Too much angle gets you into this situation where you're stuck, and I'm afraid he's going to hit the van, so I'm covering the brake just in case. He's just about to mount the curb. I allow him to mount it on this occasion because it wasn't in an unsafe or damaging way. Okay, that'll do there, thank you. If you can move away when you're ready, please. Okay. Drive on up the road. Drive on up the road is what I was trying to say. Okay. As he mounted the curb, this would very likely be a serious mark for reverse park road. By this stage, it's unlikely an examiner is going to wait for adjustments to correct his position. This is not a judgment error, it's a lack of understanding. And pull over on the left in a safe place. Okay. Move away when you're ready, please. Okay. The position of his foot on the clutch is interesting. It looks like he's using his little toe. Again, he made the engine struggle when moving away because he's lifting the clutch without the gas, but it's not bad enough to be marked on test. I'm going to fast forward the parts of the test where there's not a lot to say. End of road left. When he gets to the end of the road, he is very far from the curb. He is almost straight when ideally he should be bending to the left with the curb as it bends. But as his position isn't currently misleading anyone and he manages to stay in the correct side of the road as he emerges, this is unlikely going to be marked. Pull over in a safe place on the left. Okay. Good mirrors again before pulling over. Throughout this test so far, he's had good observations. He presses the clutch down too late and stalls the engine. This would very likely be a minor mark for control clutch. The engine restarted itself automatically. Thank you. I'm now going to ask you to do the emergency stop. Okay. Only do the stop if I put my hand out and say stop. Okay. You may see me look behind and make sure it's safe before I put my hand out and say stop. If I don't put my hand out, don't do the emergency stop because it may be unsafe. Okay. Okay. Move away when you're ready, please. Again, he makes the engine struggle as he's moving away, but I'm going to stop mentioning that now. It's good that he waits for the oncoming cars and he has a good position whilst he is waiting. He's over to the right, to improve his view, but also to make his intentions clear. The oncoming vehicle catches his attention, which is good, but he continues to slow down when it's clear the oncoming vehicle is giving way, which could be misleading. However, it was so minor that it's unlikely to be marked on test. Stopped. Good reaction and good braking pressure. Thank you. I won't ask you to do that again.
Okay.
Move away when you're ready, please.
Okay.
After the emergency stop, not only does he need to check the roadside blind spot before moving away, but he should check the curbside blind spot as well, because we are not near the curb. He does this, but it gets very old. It's possible this could be a minor mark for move off safety. It's good that he moves to the right nice and early to pass the parked van. This helps with his vision, but also it makes his intentions clear. And pull over in a safe place on the left.
Okay.
Thank you. You seem a little bit nervous. Just drive how you normally drive with your instructor and your mum and dad. Just take a moment now, let's have a breather.
Okay.
Try not to be under too much pressure.
Okay.
Just going to turn Arnold on now at the sat-nav.
Okay.
He's going to be directing you.
Okay.
And when you're ready, follow the sat-nav, please.
Okay.
It's not usually necessary to check the curbside blind spot when parked close to the side of the road before moving away. Doing so is unlikely going to cause a problem if it's timed well, but I have known learner drivers to get marked down for checking the curbside blind spot when it has distracted them from the more important checks in front, behind, and the roadside blind spot. His speed and position on this narrow road is safe. He's not driving on the dirt to the left where there is less grip, and he is doing an appropriate speed for the current situation.
In 300 yards, continue straight onto Bounstead Road.
He is covering the clutch, but he is not leaning on it.
Continue straight onto Bounstead Road.
A left signal here would have been better because he is branching to the left, despite the sat-nav saying he is going straight.
Continue on Bounstead Road for 1 mile.
This is a very narrow road. Throughout this road he maintains a safe position, which is to the left but not so close to the left that it's risky. He could have definitely gone faster in some places safely, but in my experience, given the conditions and the view, his speed is fast enough that it would not be marked down for going too slow on the driving test. In my opinion, the next oncoming car is a bit too central as they approach the bend. They wanted both sides of the road, didn't they?
Yeah.
But he stayed cool and dealt with it calmly. I'm quite used to new drivers steering sharply to the left when they see an oncoming car in that position.
In 1/4 mile, turn right to stay on Bounstead Road.
The next right turn is a common place to fail the driving test because it's a narrow road that's two-way, and many drivers turn into the middle of the road without seeing nobody is coming.
Take the next right to stay on Bounstead Road, then slight right onto Beerchurch Hall Road.
We can't see far into that road on the right, so don't start turning right now. Alexander waits for a good view and then turns in safely.
Slight right onto Beerchurch Hall Road.
He deals with this junction well, it just takes a while to wait for an opportunity, so I will fast forward.
See, the problem with this junction here is...
Talk a bit louder.
Problem with this junction here is, if you don't take one, then you could be here forever. Okay. Oh, there we go.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on Beerchurch Hall Road.
If I just go back to being Richard for a moment, if you want to talk,
Yeah.
to make it louder so people can hear you.
Okay.
Back to being Gary. He has a good position and he is making the most of the 40 mile per hour speed limit as it is currently safe to do so.
Second exit, so there's... Good to go.
No signal to leave the roundabout, but the speed and position felt safe.
In 200 yards, at the roundabout, take the second exit and stay on Beerchurch Hall Road.
There is a vehicle behind, so that lack of signal may be a minor mark for signal necessary.
Just going to slow down just a touch. No indications, so good to go.
Felt safe, but likely another minor for not signalling.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Beerchurch Hall Road.
If you say your thoughts louder, that
Okay.
might be interesting. Other people want to hear it.
Okay.
So I can hear you mumbling,
Yeah.
but I know that won't come across on the microphone.
Yeah.
It might just be a very slight noise.
Yeah, so what I like to do usually when I'm driving is just commentate to myself. So here, we're just going straight, we can see he's indicating now. So just get down into a low gear. Okay, and we're good to go.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Mercy Road, B1025.
I can see a pattern for not signalling to leave roundabouts. If this carries on, this would likely be a serious mark. So what would you normally be doing today?
Well, it is the Christmas holiday, so just be resting. just resting. Had a long term of uni. So yeah.
Uni, what you studying?
Economics, politics and international relations.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is very interesting. A lot of content, but no, at the same time, very interesting.
You want to be a politician?
No.
Don't blame you.
No, that's not my cup of tea. Potentially a diplomat, something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't go down that route of
Can't win
politician. No,
if you're a politician.
not at all. So it could be a bit.
As there is a big queue of cars behind us, we need to be willing to take a small opportunity or squeeze through a narrow gap if it's safe to do so.
So hazards now just on my side, so I am going to wait.
The width of the space here though is a bit too small for a squeeze.
It's clear to go, so just gonna.
So far, so good.
And then stop at the next hazard.
Again, there is not enough room to squeeze through, so he needs to wait.
Now that is better positioning for other cars to be let through.
If he starts early, he could go safely after the white car.
Could take that, but I'm gonna wait. I'm, however, gonna angle myself, so. Gosh, they just. Okay.
He could go after the grey car. No, he's missed it. No mirrors before moving would likely be a minor mark for mirrors change direction, and he missed one easy opportunity and one small opportunity, and as it was so busy, this would likely be a minor mark for undue hesitation. It's been a while since the sat-nav said anything, so mini roundabout left.
Okay.
A safe speed and position at the next roundabout, and he takes a safe opportunity.
In 200 yards, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Mercy Road, B1025.
If you can talk as if you're telling someone what you're doing.
Okay.
I won't ask you again,
Yeah.
just I don't want to pester you, but I think it would be... I'll be quiet. Many drivers miss this mini roundabout and sail straight across it, but he deals with it safely. I think it would be interesting for people listening to hear what you're saying.
In 100 yards, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Mercy Road, B1025.
So we can take that there.
But I know at the moment they
In a
won't be able to
quarter of
hear
a
you.
mile,
Yeah, okay.
your destination will be on the left.
He dealt with all 3 mini roundabouts safely, despite me talking to him out of character to try and benefit my video, which he may have found distracting.
Slowing down. Just a touch of a hazard there, so just going to slow down whilst the...
Pull over on the left, just after the red car, please.
Okay.
Your destination is on the left.
He slows down before he gets near the curb and stops close enough to the curb and straight. Thank you. That was just a way marker. All right, now, when you're ready, continue following the sat-nav, please.
Okay.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Abbots Road.
He approaches the roundabout at a speed where he's able to stop safely by the line without harsh braking. He maintains a good position and he goes when it's safe.
In half a mile, your destination will be on the left.
The destination's just a way marker.
Your destination is on the left.
Continue following the road ahead, please.
Okay.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Old Heath Road.
Just going to slow down here because I cannot see oncoming traffic. Yeah, right choice.
It's good that he slowed down early enough that he could stop before the parked vehicles without harsh braking.
Just angle myself so that I'll let that lorry through.
He's waiting far back to improve his view.
So that I'm still seen by oncoming traffic and they know I am trying to attempt to move.
And it's easy for him to steer around the parked vehicle.
I think I can.
Looking at his eyes, you can see that he did check the right mirror before passing the parked cars.
Just take my gap there. And now they're waiting for me now, so I'm good to go.
He's slowing down enough that he doesn't risk slamming on the brakes to stop by the line of the mini roundabout if he needs to. Also, he recognises his shield and uses it.
So shield there, so I am able to go.
In 300 yards, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Whitehall Road.
Good speed near the parked cars. This is why it's important to be slow when you're passing parked cars closely due to oncoming traffic, and why it's important to check your mirrors quickly. Because people do open doors into traffic and people do step out from between parked vehicles or even between oncoming vehicles. In this case, the pedestrian ran across the road after the oncoming traffic. Alex was late seeing the pedestrian partly because he was checking his mirrors, and although he needed to check his mirrors here because it's important to check your mirrors before changing the position of your vehicle, Checking your mirrors every set number of seconds, as some people advise, is not what I recommend, as every time you check your mirrors, you take your eyes off the road. So in my opinion, it's best to only check your mirrors when needed. However, Alex dealt with this situation safely. He slowed down enough to avoid the pedestrian, but he didn't overreact and brake more than necessary, which would increase the risk of a rear end collision. He also deals with the next mini roundabout safely. He's at a speed where he can stop without harsh braking, he maintains a good position and makes a safe decision.
So he's got, so I'm able to go because he is indicating.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Haven Road.
Just slowing down here.
He deals with the bus safely. He passes at a safe speed for the space that's available. His position makes his intentions clear, and he checks the relevant mirrors. When it's safe, you can show me how to demist the rear window, please.
The rear window. Okay.
He pressed the correct button, but as I forgot to acknowledge this by saying thank you, he didn't think he had done it and tried pressing another button. Despite me causing a minor distraction by asking him to demist the rear window, he still deals with the next mini roundabout safely.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the third exit onto Colne Causeway, A134.
Thank you for putting the rear window on as asked. I should have said thank you, that's why I think you might have been still trying. I'll turn that off now, we don't need it.
Just gonna slightly avoid, there's some puddles in the road and a bit of a dip, so you just never know what's in those puddles, so you just want to be careful with those things. So right here, I'm going to take the inside lane, slow down.
Another safe roundabout, good speed, good position, good observations and good signalling.
In 300 yards, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Eastern Approach.
There are two lanes here, but the lane dividing line has faded. However, he seems to be aware of this and is maintaining a good position.
Second exit, so we want to be in the left lane for the second exit. That's straight on. Approaching 2. Someone coming around, so get into 1. We can take that there.
Safely done, but no signal to leave.
Exit the roundabout onto Eastern Approach. In 300 yards, at the roundabout, continue straight onto Colne Causeway, Elmstead Road.
I was impressed that he stayed in the left lane on the previous roundabout and avoided straight lining it despite the poor road markings.
Second exit again, so we're in the right lane, or in the left lane, but in the correct lane. To get in, to gear 1, there, yeah. Stay inside.
In 100 yards, at Greenstead roundabout, take the first exit onto St Andrews Avenue, A133.
Still no signal for leaving the roundabout. Let's see how he does with the magic roundabout. No signal for left at this mini roundabout.
In 50 yards, at Greenstead roundabout, take the second exit and stay on St Andrews Avenue, A133.
So we're looking.
In 50 yards, at Greenstead roundabout, take the first exit and stay on St Andrews Avenue, A133.
He didn't need to signal at the second mini roundabout as he was going ahead, but he needed to signal left at the third mini roundabout, and he didn't. Throughout this test, he has been failing to signal at roundabouts, so it's likely by now it would be a serious mark. That's the end of the sat-nav now.
Okay.
I'll give you directions. So follow the road ahead, unless I say left or right.
Okay.
All road signs or markings indicate otherwise.
Okay.
I know the bike looks further ahead via the wide angle lens of the camera, but Alex is following the bike with about a 1 second gap. This would likely be a minor mark for following distance. At the roundabout, I'd likely go ahead, second exit.
Okay.
It's good that he's now keeping a greater following distance from the bike.
Slowing down here into gear 2. No. See, it's clear for us.
Still no signal for leaving, but he is dealing with the roundabout safely overall. At a roundabout, again we're going ahead, second exit.
Okay.
I fast forwarded the video because it was a bit of a wait, but now it's his turn. I'm impressed that he keeps it within his lane. Not many drivers do that here, and on this occasion he does signal to leave the roundabout. It's good to see that he's making the most of the 40 mph speed limit on this road. It's unnecessary to be stopped this far back from the car in front at traffic lights, but he is not far enough back for this to likely be marked on the driving test.
Just checking there. Yeah, on those overtaking, or when the traffic on the right comes in, just make sure to check your side mirror, just to see, just in case that's a cyclist coming in.
What I think he's saying is check your mirrors when two lanes merge. At the roundabout, you're going ahead, second exit, signposted London.
London, okay.
If you can see it.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard because of the trees.
Yeah.
That's what I told you late there.
Okay.
But it's ahead, second exit.
Okay.
He really is good at roundabouts. He consistently approaches at a safe speed. He makes safe decisions and he maintains a good position. On this roundabout, there isn't really a need to signal to leave because he's in the left lane in a queue of traffic waiting to leave. It's clear what he's doing. However, at the end of the test, I do need to talk to him about signalling for roundabouts. And at the roundabout again, it's ahead, second exit,
Okay.
signposted London. Does he leave the keep clear area clear? He does. Well done. It looks like he's aiming for the correct lane. This roundabout from this direction is actually one of the more challenging roundabouts in the area because you don't often get much time to go. He takes a safe opportunity, maintains a good position and uses the signal to leave the roundabout. He makes the most of the 40 mph speed limit on this road whilst it's safe, and then he speeds up once he passes the national speed limit sign, which means the speed limit on this road for this vehicle is 60 mph. At the moment the car ahead is far away, but soon he gets to around about a 1 second following distance, which would very likely be marked on test. Now it never looks close on camera, and that's because the wide angle lens that you get on dash cams and action cams make things look far away. But in person it does look close, and when you count the time gap it is around about 1 second. Next road left.
Okay.
Coming up now, you see it?
Yeah.
Pull over at the side of the road near the red fence, please.
Okay.
If you can stay on the road,
Yeah.
not go on the pavement. As it is a drop curb here, so it's not as obvious.
Yeah.
This is the hill start. Now can you move away when you're ready, please?
Yeah.
He checks the curbside blind spot, which isn't very important, but doesn't check the roadside blind spot, which is important. This would likely be a minor mark for move off safety. Also, he rushes the gas as he doesn't prepare the gas pedal before taking the handbrake off. This causes him to give too many revs and therefore burns the clutch. End of road left.
Okay. There is quite a few potholes, so just trying to move out the way for those. Okay. Just creeping out here because I can't completely see the junction.
Very safe so far.
And I'm safe here. Yeah.
Another junction done safely. On this road, he is following the vehicle in front at a safe distance. When watching back video footage that has been recorded via a dash cam or an action cam, it's worth bearing in mind that these cameras nearly always have a wide angle lens and make things look much further ahead than they actually are. Your view is obscured and not actually true. This is one of the challenges I have when making videos. What I'm seeing in the car is not exactly what you're seeing when you're watching it on screen. In the dry, it's recommended that you leave a 2-second gap between yourself and the vehicle you are following, and in the wet it's recommended that you double this distance. Next road on the right, please.
Okay.
And although it's not raining at the moment, it is wet. Now I could choose a camera that has a more true image, but when I do this you can't see so far to the left or right. Your field of view gets restricted and becomes more narrow. So this is a compromise. He dealt with that right turn safely. If you can pull up just before the white car,
okay,
and 1 car length before it, don't worry about the driveway.
Okay.
This is for the angle start. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. That'll do. Beautiful Italians over there, isn't there?
Yes. Yeah.
By Italians, we mean Ferraris.
Yes.
Move away when you're ready, please. This time he did check the roadside blind spot, and although it wasn't the smoothest of starts, it didn't feel unsafe, and therefore it's unlikely this would be marked on test. It's worth bearing in mind that you don't feel all the little jerks when you're watching this on a screen. If you can see the jerk, if it shoots me forwards and backwards, then that is an almighty jerk.
It's a bit narrow here, so just going to wait for these cars.
He deals with the parked vehicles well. There is traffic already coming through and he lets them finish.
Check mirrors and
pull over on the left after the red car, please.
okay.
He gets the clutch down too late and stalls the car. However, it does restart itself. This would likely be a minor mark for control clutch. Thank you. That's the end of the test. If you can turn the engine off, please. Unfortunately, you didn't pass today. Okay, I'll let Richard give you the debrief. He's been watching.
Yeah.
But bit of luck next time.
Thank you.
So that's the end of the test. I'm now going to go through the main problems. There's not actually that many,
Okay.
to be fair. Now, when you said to me 14 hours with an instructor,
Yeah.
and the last time you drove a car was 3 months ago,
Yeah.
in my experience, if someone says something along those lines, they are going to be nowhere near test ready.
Yeah.
And I was actually expecting to have to probably terminate the test.
Okay.
But when you started driving, it became apparent that actually you're all right. You're clearly quite a talented driver,
Okay.
given how little professional practice you've had, but
Yeah.
then you might have had a lot of practice
Yeah.
with your mum and dad, which
Yeah.
is where you've got a lot of your skill from. But mostly I would say you're talented because your attitude, your personality very much suits safe driving. The way you are behind the wheel,
Okay.
you're methodical, you're calm, you're patient, all that does lead to good driving. It won't take you much practice
Okay.
because there's nothing getting in your way of being good at this.
Yeah.
You find it quite easy to be good at this. But during that test, you didn't pass.
Yeah.
Way too much angle on that parallel park.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you mounted the curb.
Yeah.
So you mounted the curb now. There's really no point carrying on.
Yeah.
So I just ended it there. Have you had much practice doing the parallel park?
No, not really.
Didn't think so. So you obviously need practice there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you going to say?
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay. And I'll try and go through this quickly because I know my debriefs can be a bit too long for videos sometimes. What I've got here is signalling at roundabouts.
Okay.
You're not signalling at roundabouts. Now, each one is a minor,
Okay.
but you're not signalling so many times.
Okay. Okay.
Mini roundabouts, you're not signalling to go left.
Yeah.
When you're leaving a roundabout after going straight, you're not signalling to leave.
Okay.
You're completely just not doing it at all.
Okay.
I think you signalled right when you're going right at the roundabout and then
Yeah.
left to leave after going right, but you
But then
should
not.
be signalling left
Yeah.
when you pass the penultimate exit
Okay.
to leave at the one you want to leave at, to
Okay.
help other people entering the roundabout know
Yeah.
that you are going to leave. That's back up to them to go, okay,
Okay.
they're not coming round, they're leaving. That makes it easier for other people.
Yeah.
Following distance, so that would be a serious.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
not signalling, so it's two serious, definite serious is there.
Okay.
Now this one may or may not be a serious. I'm
Okay.
not sure because I don't have much experience
Okay.
of seeing my pupils do this on test.
Okay.
So I don't know how strict the examiners are with it and how quickly they'll go from minor mark to serious.
Okay,
But it's
yeah.
definitely a minor. Following distance.
Okay.
Cars. So
Yeah.
there are some slower cars in front of you.
Yeah.
I think there was a motorbike on one occasion
Yeah.
and a car on another occasion, and you're getting way too close. In
Okay.
my head, I'm trying to count the following distance.
Yeah,
It's a bit greasy and wet out there, and you've got
Yeah.
like a 1 second gap.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
not safe.
Yeah.
So I'm on. That could very much possibly be a serious.
Okay.
Because you're getting. I felt unsafe.
Okay.
So that's a good sign that it probably would be a serious.
Yeah.
Too much gas when moving off.
Yeah.
The car's moving away. You've got enough bite point. But
Yeah.
vroom, it's
Yeah,
making
yeah.
me wince because I can hear it and then I can smell it. I smell that clutch a little bit on
Okay.
on the last occasion
Yeah.
as it started to get a bit too hot.
Okay.
So you need a bit more practice with that.
Yeah.
Once you've got some gas, lift the clutch to the bite point, and then if you want to go a bit faster,
Yeah.
you lift the clutch a bit more.
And then-
If the gas is getting a bit too quiet,
Yeah.
then add gas. So what you're doing is you're moving away slowly and you're thinking, I want to go faster.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what learners do.
Yeah.
You need more experience there. It should
Okay.
be the clutch actually controls the speed when you're moving away.
Yeah.
The gas is your potential.
Okay.
And you're giving loads of potential without actually
Without-
making the car go faster. And all
Yeah.
that potential is just being converted into heat on the clutch friction disc.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And causing blue spots on the flywheel and pressure plate. And also clutch, you've stalled I remember 2 times,
Yeah.
it might have been 3 times, but
Okay.
you've got to push the clutch down
Yeah.
when you are stopping. So some minors for gas, I'd say that's gas because you're giving too much gas,
Okay.
and minors for not pushing the clutch down when you're stopping. Not passing parked cars.
Yeah.
So there were some opportunities where we were waiting and you could go through, you had
Yeah,
time to
yeah.
make it when it was busy. And I think you need a bit more confidence to know when you can go. So
Okay.
that would be a minor for undue hesitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say they would mark it as that instead of meeting, because sometimes
Okay.
meeting, the way they mark the test, it's not always how I would expect it to be marked.
Okay.
But basically, I can see there's enough time for you to get around these cars,
Yeah.
and you're still waiting there. And I think you're afraid you're going to make the oncoming car slow down just a minor amount.
Yeah.
Now, when it's really busy,
Yeah.
that's acceptable.
Okay. Okay.
If you think about it, you're creating this huge queue behind us
Yeah.
because we've got this obstruction,
Yeah.
and we get this gap where you can get a couple of cars through there probably.
Yeah.
Now, the oncoming car may have to adjust their speed a little bit, but
Okay.
that's appropriate.
Okay.
It's not like you're making them slam on the brake. It's not unsafe. It's not dangerous. And you
Yeah.
have to just take into account traffic flow sometimes.
Okay.
And when you think, well, it's sensible now for a few cars on this side to go,
Okay.
and for that side to wait and let some of the traffic go. And I think you're just taking it a bit too much like it's their right of way.
Okay.
It's not their right of way.
Okay.
There's only times when you should give way.
Okay.
And I think you just need to be a bit smarter in that area
Yeah.
and have a bit more confidence to go, right, yep, it's really busy. There's an opportunity there.
Yeah.
Let's take it, even though it's small.
Okay.
Anything else here? Mirrors for passing parked car. Oh, yeah, when you were waiting for a long time to pass a parked car.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure if you did check your mirrors before moving out.
Okay.
And I was looking at you, and you might have done it just before I looked at you.
Okay.
The video will tell the true story.
Yeah.
But that is quite important because you're waiting somewhere for a long time. You've
Yeah.
got a queue of cars behind you.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly go around the parked car after waiting for a long time. That's exactly when a fed-up motorbike's going to be going
Yeah.
past you there.
Yeah.
So very important to check your mirrors and that. But I'm not going to mark it because I'm not 100% sure you didn't check.
Okay.
In that situation. Often you were checking your mirrors. You were checking your mirrors generally, but it was when you were waiting for a long time and you went to set off. I didn't see you.
Okay.
I mean, twice I saw that.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. Gears are a bit too low, so the rev's a bit high.
Yeah.
That probably wouldn't be marked.
Okay.
That's an advisory.
Okay.
You're slowing down a little bit late for junctions. That's making driving harder for you.
Okay.
That won't come across on camera. Neither will the following distance. Count the time gap for the following distance. Don't do it by how far the cars look ahead, because the camera makes things look very far ahead. And if you count the time gap, I think it's about 1 second, roughly. What was I talking about? Yeah, slowing down late. That's not going to come across on camera either, but you are slowing down a bit late for junctions. That's making it harder for you to deal with the junctions, making it harder for you to do the gears and be smooth with the clutch.
Yeah.
And giving you less time to see if it's safe to go.
Okay.
So if you slow down a bit earlier, it will be a lot easier for you.
Okay.
And then country road speed and position, I thought that's pretty good. I was quite surprised by that.
Okay.
Again, with your experience that you've had, I was expecting a far worse drive. I was really quite impressed.
Okay.
But yes, at the moment, if you were to take a test though,
Yeah.
if you were to take 20 tests,
Yeah.
I still think you'd fail them all.
Yeah. Okay.
You need more. You need some more practice. I
Yeah.
don't think there's much chance of you passing, because that, although it was a fairly challenging test route, it was actually quite an easy test.
Okay.
Not a lot of major things really put you under pressure there.
Yeah.
We had to wait. We had to start a bit late because of the light, which didn't help. Because I tried to get these mock tests during rush hour.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, that was a bit easy. You got any questions?
No. No. I don't think so. I think that was pretty thorough. Understood.
Okay. How long do you think this is now? That says 9 minutes. Hopefully it is, and it's not 9. Yeah, it is 9, isn't it? Good.
Yeah.
Not too long. Well, we're going to end the video there. If you found the video interesting, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're looking for car insurance, check out the links to Collingwood and Confused in the description. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you, because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy. And that takes away a big stress from the owner of that car that you're using to practice your driving in. Via the link at the moment, there's up to 35% off and a £20 gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers to compare who's cheapest. And you can change your car on that quote as many times as you like without having to fill the whole quote form out again. So it's a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio. Just some bonus footage at the end of the video because I've been thoroughly through the test with Alexander now, and there was 2 points he brought up that I thought the viewers, you, may want a better explanation for as well. So the first thing is when you're waiting behind the parked cars and it was safe to go past the parked cars, but you may have made the oncoming cars slow down a little bit. Well, the key here was it was safe to pass the cars. Do you agree it would have been safe for you to go around those parked cars?
Yes, yeah.
And that's what the driving test is about. Is it safe? Now, yes, if you're driving down a road and there's a parked car on your side, an oncoming car, and you think there's a slight chance you might make them slow down, give way. Absolutely. Like you did on this road, just before the end of the test, there was quite a few cars around and you decided to wait. Absolutely fine. But if now you're starting to wait there a little while and you're starting to get a queue, you're going to need to take an opportunity if it's possible, if it's safe to do so.
Yeah. Okay.
And therefore, that's why in that situation, I would say, well, personally, I would have gone, and I'm recommending you should have gone.
Okay.
There was a couple of situations where I thought you might make someone slow down a bit, but it was perfectly safe to do so.
Okay.
And the oncoming car at that point, we also would see you coming around and would more likely see the queue then and go, all right, let's wait and let a few through, instead of leaving a huge queue on one side and one side of the road being clear.
Okay.
If you feel like it's unsafe, don't do it.
Okay.
If you feel like you're going to agitate the driver, don't do it. But in those situations, drivers generally understand that traffic needs to get through. There's a big queue. And if you've already started, especially if you've already started passing when you see them come, then that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
No problem at all. And the next one was following distance.
Yes.
When you're following traffic, you need to make sure you can stop if they were to slam on the brakes. And I felt like on a couple of occasions, if they were to slam on the brakes, it's possible you could have even hit them before you hit the brake yourself. Because if they brake hard, it's going to take you about a second to react. And if they've gone from 40 to 20, say, and you've only just started braking, all the way you're slowing down, you're catching them. So you don't want to be in a position where you're catching under braking because you can't stop any quicker. But more importantly than that, try to go beyond thinking about whether or not you can stop in time for the car in front, and start thinking about, if the car in front brakes hard, would I be able to brake gently enough to prevent that truck that's tailgating me from hitting me? Start thinking about cars behind and use your following distance to control that as well. And overall, it will just give you a bit more time if you're further back. It's more relaxed drive. It's easier to read road markings because you can see the road more. And if you're following a big vehicle, which you weren't, to be fair, you can see the road signs as well. And when you're following a big vehicle, you can't see around them. So you're basically a passenger. You're a passenger to their driving. You see their brake lights, you got to brake. You got to drive the way they do. If you hold back, you can see around them, you see what's going on, you can make your own decisions. Anyway, that's the end of the bonus footage.